I'm Marian Gilmore. Okay, well, my actual journey to Portland was in 1960. And my journey to Delta was in the 60s.
Got it.
I was attending Portland State University at the time. Actually, it was Portland State College at the time. And I met up with Laura Glossen's daughter. We were all attending at the same time, her daughter, Barbara Sue. And we connected, and that was my introduction to Beta Psi. Well, I was initiated in 1964.
64. So,
and
the
chapter ended in 1980, and 81 was when we changed the name from Beta Psi to Portland Alumni.
Right. So,
well, at the time, because it was, I believe, 1977, because I was Beta Psi president at that time.
Okay.
When Bailey was the chair of Scholarship and Standards Committee.
Okay.
We tried to extend having the mixed chapter for as long as we could. So we had two exemptions, and then in 1980, we changed to Portland Alumni. The name change actually, because we were Beta Psi, and if we were a member at that time, then we became charter members of Portland Alumni. So I think the chapter struggled with, we definitely wanted to keep a collegiate chapter, so we struggled with how could we maintain that, even though we had to change the name to Portland Alumni. Definitely, yes.
Okay.
I think the community really supported Beta Psi, Portland Alumni, and because some of the events was held at churches.
Yeah.
So we were connected.
That's awesome.
Well, I think we were all connected because it's not like you had a lot of other social outlets. And I think belonging to an organization was one way that we kind of got to know each other. And it wasn't just Greek organizations, there were other social organizations that was around at the time, Texas Club, Oklahoma Club. And so I think we got to know who belonged to what organization, the Oregon Association of Colored Women's Club. So
okay.
National Council of Negro Women. So it was, you got to know each other fairly well.
Yes.
It really made you feel more of like a family.
Sure.
We, know who the good cooks were. Mm-hmm. What homes was more for, let's say, social events after the meeting. Sometimes we call it the meeting after the meeting.
Of course.
And so you really felt, it felt like family because you stayed there after the meeting, you had refreshments, you socialized, and we got to know each other's families. So,
oh, sure.
It was a good feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
I think some of the critical ones that we did was around education and development, beginning in the 80s, where we had weekly storytelling for kids. There was tutorial programs. Portland was chosen in the 80s to be a chapter for the region around health disparities in the community. We had the programs of the summits. Mm-hmm. We had of course, the C program, which was science and everyday experience, which led into Dr. Benjamin's, the Delta Gems. Of course, the Women of Excellence was one of our signature programs that it was not only supposed to be a fundraising effort, but it was also to have the community become more aware of what we were doing and to give scholarship to students.
Okay.
I really can't say for the chapter, but I think for any new group, I think need to make sure that individuals understand the purpose of your organization or your group. I think it's critical that that there's a commitment to the efforts, and let people know what kind of time is involved, so that you really do have people that's really interested in what your vision and your values are for the group. Because we know that Delta is not a social club.
Right.
And, so I think you just really need to be clear about your purpose as an organization. Well, I think it's what I envision. What I really appreciate when we had the mixed chapter that is graduates and undergraduates was you really learn from each other.
Yeah.
To have the experience of alumni members, but they were very, very supportive of undergraduates. And so I think that's great when you can have that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's still a focus to make sure that people are aware of really what your organization is, that they are committed and that they're willing to work within those, whatever it's supposed to do.
Right.
And that they're in it for the long run, although you have to be honest, everyone is going to get burned out a little bit at some point, and sometimes you do have to take a break.
Sure.
Delta is a lot of work. No, I'm appreciative, that I am a Delta. I would not give that up for anything.
Yeah.
There's been difficulties, as you do with any organization. But I think the benefits outweigh that.
That's awesome.